I hate to break it to you, but we just left the real world behind. Welcome, my friends. Welcome once again to the most exciting pirate ship known to the internet and maybe even beyond. The Gaming Galleon! I'm your host, Captain Raz, and boy oh boy, whew, is it hot where we are. It's like it's a dry heat though. It's nice. It's nice. I venture to say the climate where we are is never inhospitable, because you see, we basically had to fire up the old parallel dimension generator, knock ourselves through a portal, and we find ourselves in the lush, exciting, tongue-in-cheek, and innocent world of Acme Acres. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're in Cartoon Land. We're just outside of Acme Looniversity. You guys ever hear of it? It's a school where they train cartoon characters how to be hilarious. Wow. Why didn't my guidance counselor ever tell me about this? Well, I guess there's Clown College, but for whatever reason, Clown College isn't looked at as fondly as Acme Looniversity. Acme Looniversity. Let's see. I mean, if you don't know who goes to Acme Looniversity, you certainly know who teaches there. It's the Looney Tunes. Okay? Bugs Bunny's the principal. Elmer Fudd, I don't know, what does he teach? Home ec? You got Sylvester, probably teaching speech impediment training, therapy. You know, the whole gang. Okay? And of course, you can't have a school and teachers without students. Now, I'm probably not telling a lot of you what you don't know. I'm probably not revealing anything new when I tell you about Tiny Toons. It was a show, cartoon that came out about 20 years ago. Okay? And as I said, it's all these kids trying to learn how to be great cartoon characters. What do we got here? And what a shock, even though, as far as I know, virtually none of them are related to one another, they all seem to have a little bit in common with the teaching staff. What do we got here? What do you got? You got a couple of bunnies there, okay? You got, what, a pig? You know? You got that little girl with the bow in between the cat and Porky there, okay? You know, Guy, a duck. I mean, does it look familiar to you? They should. Actually, there's one thing interesting about this that I didn't know. I walked in there thinking I'd be treated to, like, you know, juice and Fig Newtons, and that's not the case at all. If you look at these guys, wouldn't you think they're, like, you know, elementary school? I mean, I never took cartoon anatomy in high school, but apparently this is how high schoolers look in Acme Acres. Did you know Acme Looniversity was a high school? I had no idea. Now look, I'm a little wary about going outside the ship. You never know what happens in these weird cartoon realities, okay? Virtually anything could happen. So for the most part, we're trying to keep a bit of a low profile, get the job done, get the show going, and get out. Okay? You know, we we checked in with admissions just so that we would be able to park safely. They were nice enough to put wall up the ship with brick. Apparently, they can do that in like virtually 37 seconds. They're cartoons. And of course, I got squirted in the face with, every various squirting novelty known to man just as I was trying to get clearance from the teaching staff. Classy. So, anyway, here we are. We got to get a show done. We got a voyage to do. And usually, I like to relay a little bit of a story before we get started. And I was like, well, this is a high school. I guess I should pull something from high school, right? And then I realized how generally boring I was in high school. I was in Boy Scouts. I was far from the model student. I certainly dodged my share of homework and faked my way through my share of tests. But, I had my stint in Star Trek Club. Secretary, by the way. I think I might have been the treasurer there for a couple weeks. I was in chess club long enough just to get in the yearbook, and then I was out of there like a shot. And then, I was a Boy Scout. And I spent a lot of time doing that. And then senior year, I even tried my hand at the theater. I was a supporting role in Bye Bye Birdie, the musical. Look it up, and then quickly file it away. So, but for the most part, I wasn't a very crazy kid. I mean, I was hanging out with some kids. I had some neighborhood friends, some older kids in the neighborhood who, introduced us to some things that maybe parents would have frowned upon, but it's all part of growing up. Played some Nintendo. Hung out with a more hipster crowd in senior year. We were watching Oliver Stone films. You know what I'm saying? These things happen. You grow up, and as you get there, you learn to get in with a circle or two, or three, or only four, or even four. For me, it was the theater guys, the neighborhood kids, and older neighborhood kids, the scouts, and then, of course, these hipster guys in my year, guys and girls. And and of course, there were parties, house parties, right? I'd be going to these ritzy parties with some girl through, or I'd be going to a sleepover down the block where we'd all be passing around some sort of indiscriminate bottle. Right? These things happen. Okay? But what I didn't ever see myself doing was what I decided to do one faithful weekend when my parents and my sister, who was around 10 or 11 at the time, and happened to be in Irish step dancing. You guys know what that is? Irish step dancing? Michael Flatley, Lord of the Flies, Lord of the Rings. Not the Lord of the Flies, not the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Dance. Is that even relevant anymore? Pretty sure he's still doing that. Anyway, that was what she was into. And so there was this one faithful weekend that the three of them got in a car on my senior year. And they all left and went straight across the Midwest to Iowa for an Irish dancing competition. And as I said, at this point, I was going to a few parties. I kind of knew the drill of how they went down and certainly enjoyed them. And I thought, this is it. This is my shot. This is my chance. And I knew I had the resources. I had a couple of guys down the street who were a couple years older than me, already out of school. Had a couple of other cadre of very loyal friends, a couple years younger, or maybe my year. And then I had my Boy Scout brothers, all these theater dorks I just met, and then this whole crew of senior somethings, film student, film buffs. Okay? We had the resources, and we happened to have some experts. So, I went to him and I said, what do you say we throw a party at my parents' house? They did not hesitate. The older guys, they started making sure we had spirits. The word spread like wildfire around the senior class, or at least the few circles I belonged to. And the next thing I knew, around 8 o'clock that Saturday night, we cleaned up the place, lit the tiki torches out in the backyard, and people started showing up. And I don't know if this was a BYOB, but boy did they be. They bead. Before we knew it, the refrigerator and the counter was lined with basically a chemistry set worth of libations. These kids were young. It was toward the end of the year. It was getting a little hot. I remember being hot, but maybe it was just the amount of people there. But they were everywhere. They were in the kitchen, the living room, the family room, upstairs, and a couple of the bedrooms. I think I managed to keep my mom and dad's bedroom off limits. But this was a long time ago, okay? So maybe some of the details are quite fuzzy. And then, of course, there was the backyard. And at one point, and I really hasten to tell you this detail, but look, this is life. These things happen. At one point, one of the older guys said, hey, go out to the table in the backyard around the tiki torches. We got something for you. Okay? So they sit down, impressionable, theater musical participating senior patrol leader in a Boy Scout troop, me, 18-year-old me, sit down at this table, and they decide to treat me to, how should I put this, an experience that in many parts of our fair country these days is commonplace, and in some quite frowned upon. And this being 25 years ago, that frowned upon, at least as far as the powers that be were concerned, was a blanketed no. It was the first time I'd tried anything like this. And it didn't take long before I was completely elated, flying and floating on air, or perhaps all of the alcohol vapor that had been produced that evening. I couldn't have been happier. I'm going from room to room. People are not only all around me, but making eye contact with me, chatting with me. I mean, if you've never thrown a party, you just don't understand how amazing that feeling is, that you've cultivated this activity that everyone knows you are directly responsible for. You get a lot of support, don't get me wrong, to make this happen. But it all started with you. And so I'm going around having a blast. I make my way out toward the back door to go back out to the porch, maybe around half an hour to an hour later, who knows. And that's when I'm stopped dead in my tracks at the back door by two stern-looking, stone-faced of the neighborhood's finest. I feel like they can almost see what I've been up to just from the glint of their badges shining into my eyes. And I turn absolutely white. I have never been very good with authorities. And this was far from any exception. Here I had made this big transcendental experience among all this chaos, and I'm looking dead-eye into Johnny Law. They said, what are you up to here? I think I was actually 17 at this point. Must have been. I said, And that's when one of the older kids, another year or two older than me, already out of school, said, look, we're going to get everybody out of here. Everything's cool. We'll take care of it. That's when the cops pull out the flashlights. And I think I might have been scared more if they pulled guns than those flashlights. Because those flashlights, they reveal everything. And they shine right into your soul. It's like they're pulling out the confessions. Absolutely terrifying. They start idling around the strangely empty house all of a sudden. Make their way to the kitchen that now looks like an absolute alcoholic graveyard. I mean, I don't think there was 1 inch of the tables or counters visible. It was all just cans and bottles of various sizes, some empty, some full, some crushed and abandoned. Other guy had been through this before, and he talked to them calmly and said, look, we're going to take care of all this. Everybody's gone. We'll clean it up. We'll handle it. The cop looks at him, and then he looks at me. And he realizes he'd probably never even heard of this house before, and certainly had never heard of me. And he walks right up to me and he says, I think in the morning you should probably go to each of your neighbors' houses and apologize for the noise. Absolutely, officer. Absolutely. From then on, it was one horrible evening and morning trying to get the place back together. My friends, who had abandoned the situation, literally hid in the bushes like they were guerrilla soldiers or something until the cops left, and then started making their way back in. To do what? The innocence and loyalty of good friends. They helped me clean it all up. And by Sunday, when my parents and my darling Irish stepping sister returned, they were none the wiser, or at least I had hoped, because I did. I did what I said I would do, and I went to each of the neighbors, explained the situation, apologized, and for all I knew, they were ready to rat me out at any moment. Fast forward to 3 years later, I'm 21 years old. I'm sitting in a seafood restaurant called the Boston Sea Party with my parents. We just dropped my sister off to a summer camp. And I thought, I sat back and took my drink and swirled it around. And I said, you know what, guys? This whole dropping Tracy off, I gotta tell you, this reminds me of a little story. Let's play Tiny Toons by Konami for the Nintendo Entertainment System, shall we? Let's have some fun high school style. Come on, let's do it. Let's get loony. Woohoo! Oh, don't worry. We got booty. We got your freaking questions. I don't even know how I'm going to answer this question. For now on, I'm just going to play some Tiny Toons. Give me this. There's more to do. There's more to go. For now, though, let's turn our brains off and play a pretty high-quality platformer, all right? We're starting right from the beginning. Why? You know what? I wanted to get a little more into it. Hey, look, there's the Acme Looniversity. That's right where we are. How about that, huh? We're going to start with Plucky because I actually think we're going to be able to get through enough levels to see all the sidekicks. We're starting with Buster here. This is your typical, by the numbers platformer. Totally influenced, I'm not going to say ripping it off, but certainly influenced by the technical achievements we saw in Super Mario Bros. 3. And who can blame them? Now we're going to take this little ball here and take our sidekick we picked. Plucky Duck. I don't even know if I've played him yet. Looks like he can fly. Okay? And we're just going to keep on. We're grabbing carrots. We're having a good old time with the Tiny Toons. A show that, you know, I got to be honest, I feel like it paved the way for a lot of really good cartoons that Warner Brothers put out during that late 90s period. But not exactly a show or a show that really, you know, resonated with me. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was... I don't really think I gave it a shot. There must have been other stuff on. I mean, look, let's keep in mind, this was kind of like, you know, the era of the awesome Nickelodeon show. And I was fortunate enough to have cable. So I think... I don't know if that was a good idea. That's fine. I play more Buster anyway. I'm pretty sure that's where my most of my attention went when Tiny Toons is making a name for itself. I don't even know what... This is a waste of time. I'm sorry. Should not have gone in here. This is total habit. You can basically turn your carrots in for free lives here. I actually kind of think that's a pretty nice wrinkle to the whole collect 100, you know, pieces of garbage and get one piece of garbage. You know what I'm saying here? You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, we're moving along. Oh, watch it. Watch it. So, yeah, this cartoon has never really grabbed me. I was more of an Animaniacs, certainly more of a Freakazoid kind of guy. Another couple of shows that Warner Brothers put out during this whole rebirth of the weekend cartoon era. And you know what was fascinating about these shows was they weren't on Saturday mornings. These shows did not get their... This is a lot harder for Buster than what I'm used to. I'm used to playing furball who can climb walls. We'll see him later. Hopefully. We'll see how much time we have. I think by the time. Get in there. Woo! That was close. That would have been terrible if that little girl caught us, because we would have been all the way back to the first stage. Let's see if we can blow through the first 3 levels here real quick. And then I'll tell you what. How would you like to see what's inside the treasure chest? I mean, what's an adventure without a little adventure? Or without a little... What's adventure without a little adventure? What's adventure without a little redundancy? What's adventure without a little treasure? Well, don't worry. Don't worry. We're not going to leave you hanging here on the Galleon, okay? If I do anything for you guys, it's to do my best to try and fill a good 10-15 minutes looking through stuff you would never in a million years spend money on. Alright, here we go. We'll just stop the presses here. We're going to go this little way and grab ourselves a free life. We're doing okay. We're almost there. Woo! Okay. God, I missed the cat already. Alright, get out of here. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay. We're close. We're close. Okay, this is fine. You go in a little divot. Ha! I can't tell you how many times those guys have ambushed me. Luckily, we know what we're doing here. Now, I used to stop for these guys. Now I know you can just run through them. A friend of mine showed me that. Not naming any names. Wouldn't want to make anybody feel let down. Oh boy, I hope I can handle this. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, no problem. I'm a little wary playing with Plucky Duck here just because I haven't. So I don't want to blow it. Alright, we're doing okay. Alright, so is that it for stage 1? I think it may be. Let's see. I think that's it. So that's cool. Let's come on back, shall we? Okay? Let's come on back from Tiny Toon for now. By Konami, our good friends over at Konami. Kill this here. Alright, there we go. Shirley's asking me to pick a character. We're going to leave it right there for now. Okay. I think we might go with the cat, because I don't know how much time we're going to have here. I don't think we're going to have a lot of time. Alright! Am I excited about this chest? I don't know. Look, it's the end of days out there, folks. It's the end of days. I walked into a pawn shop the other day, and there was a stack of Nintendo games and Super Nintendo games that a year, 2, 3 years ago, they would have went, I don't know, $2 a piece. I had them pull it off the shelf, and to my horror, I saw things like POW for the NES with a big fat $8 sticker on it. It's happening. It's made it out to the Midwest, folks. They're finally catching up. They finally care. They're finally pricing each and every game. It's not the golden years like they used to be. Meanwhile, thrift stores are drying up left and right. And even a couple of pawn shops are starting to close too. Anyway, let's see what we got. All right. This will give you a fine idea of how bottom of the barrel we are. We have a Walmart deal in here. I'm embarrassed to even say the word. But, unfortunately, I happen to be there for some groceries. I went through the clearance aisle. What do we find? For $5, the Hori Mini for the PS4. I guess they look at they actually says on the back, built for younger players. It's wired. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I kind of like these. I'm not sure exactly what I do with it. Maybe I'll pass it on to a niece or a nephew or something. But for the most part, these are pretty decent, and it's actually sealed. Are we going to go through the trouble to open it? Should we? Do you want to see the build quality of these things? Let me just tear apart the box. I know the collector heart in you is screaming right now, but come on. It's a controller, guys. We're made to use them, not keep them in boxes. Let's take a look. Alright. The wrapping here. Alright, I mean, as I say, on the back here, it says Hori. They're got a pretty good pedigree when it comes to good controllers. A couple analog sticks here. Everything you basically need. And the fact that it's wired is actually kind of nice, because it means we're not going to be dealing with pairing nightmares that sometimes happen if you're playing 4-player games. You ever try and play a 4-player game on a PS4 and some guy says, hey, can I be player 2 and player 3? It's an absolute nightmare. Don't ever say yes to that question. Just give him a controller and let's move on. Alright, yeah, but for $5, this is pretty nice. I see these now and then. I think we may have picked up a second one of these for $5 way back in the day, but it had been through the paces. Not terrible, but certainly used. It's nice to have a brand new one of those. We'll take that. Alright, also on the modern front, there is the same pawn shop that's doing this ridiculous, horrible, end of days pricing on the older games. At least they're still putting some PS4 games on the floor, and we're at the point now that they're asking for $10 for 2 games. The game that really caught my eye for $5 was 7 Days to Die. I mean, more than 7 people are playing this. I've certainly seen it. People play it a lot. I guess it's like Minecraft meets zombies. What could I say? For $5, we had to grab it. And then just to make it, it was going to be $7 if we just got one game. 2 for $10. So we grabbed another incredibly common one that we just didn't happen to have. Middle-earth, Shadow of War. The direction that the Tolkien properties have gone, it's just typical. Does it all have to be blood and guts, folks? The consumer is deciding the direction that these properties go. Doesn't anyone just want to do like an Animal Crossing-esque jaunt through the Shire? Can't I get a game like that? Shadow of War. Alright, now some, well-priced stuff. I don't know if they're deals. This was alright. So these were at a pawn shop for $1 each. What's in here? This 2-disc situation with Xbox 360. It's Call of Duty 2. We got it mainly because it was just the Game of the Year edition. Grabbed that for $1. Free new multiplayer maps and a bonus DVD. Is the bonus DVD in here? I thought it was just a second disc. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can only imagine what's on that bonus DVD. Hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. Sweetheart, do I have an evening plan for you? Naruto Rise of the Ninja. I don't know what to tell you. Is this an RPG? Let's see. Rome Leaf Village and its surrounding environments in full 3D. Recreated straight from the anime. So that's kind of neat. Only in that it's an anime ninja village that you can run around in, get some adventures. I kind of like that. To be fair, these Naruto games are a dime a dozen, but I'm pretty sure we didn't have this one. Any action RPG for $1 for me, pretty hard to pass up. Black Ops 3. Why did we get this? I don't know. You know why I think we got this? I think we got these at a Salvation Army. Did I say pawn shop? We got these at a Salvation Army for $1 each. And what I find amusing about this is you'll see the price tag here, Gamezilla. That's the local retro store out in Hobunk, Illinois, that my parents live by. They were asking $7. I think I may have gotten this just because it amused me that someone had bought it in that town for $7 and then left it at Salvation Army. We got it for $1. And then finally, I don't know, no way you can argue that this isn't cool. For $1, we got Punch Out. Really good game. Really good game. Fair. Few games use the Wii controller as well as Punch Out, merely because you can just turn it over like an old NES pad, and it really does play as well that way as the old 8-bit version. And it's got a real sense of humor. Very good game here. Punch Out for $1. Finally, the best deal here. We walked into a place. It was a pawn shop. They had a wall full of games. Nothing that exciting, but the price sure was. $0.25 each. Who can say no to $0.25 each? Let's see what we got here. Well, I mean, frankly, there were a lot of games there that we're early at this point. They were so common that even at $0.25, we weren't going to take the whole wall. We were still choosy, but I think we came away with some good stuff. What do we got here? Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Pretty decent cat burglar 3D adventure by Sucker Punch. Big fan of Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is infamous. All right. Again, our standards are to the floor if they're $0.25 each. Lights, camera, pants. SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know what this is. Let's see. When a special episode of The New Adventures of Merman and Barnacle Boy is filmed in Bikini Bottom, that's where SpongeBob lives, it's up to SpongeBob and his friends to compete for the lead role. Okay, so this appears to be like a Mario Kart of sorts. Maybe a Crash Bash. There's probably no board. Okay, I can get behind that. Wolverine's Revenge. I think it's for the PlayStation 2. Don't quote me. It's got a Blockbuster sticker here. Quality guaranteed. And this is a Blockbuster case. One of those weird cases that even says Blockbuster in there. Alright, $0.25. We're going to take Wolverine's Revenge. What do we got here? Crimson Sky. I mean, just a really good Xbox game that we have, 10 million copies of. Cool Borders 3, PS1. We'll pop this in the old loose disc book down in the hold. What else we got here? I don't know what this is. Let's take a look. Kid Adventures Sky Captain in a loose case, a GameStop case. I don't know. Maybe it's amazing. Do you know? Do you care? I'm sure you don't. All right. Oh, okay. I remember these got packed in with a PS3 for a while. PS3 would give you 4 games, but they weren't willing to give you the cases. So to save space, they put some of their pack-in games with these little sleeves. Got Infamous 2 here, part of the Infamous collection. I think it's just Infamous 2. But what's interesting in here is, in addition to Infamous 2, see that in there? Yeah, prize inside, huh? Let's take a look. Stuck in there, that makes me think that no one ever pulled this out or knew it existed. Infamous Collection Super Voucher. It appears to be the DLC to the DLC to Infamous, which is basically you can turn the protagonist Cole into a vampire. You can see he's a little vampire up there. That's pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure we don't have this DLC, so we will probably redeem this. That's worth $25 right there, because I'm a big fan of this. Okay, this is actually what we've been looking for a while. It's a shame it wasn't in the box. It's called Mushroom Men, The Spore Wars, an under-the-radar 3D platformer that you may hear about in these dime a dozen YouTube hidden gems for the Wii videos. I have, at least. So this kind of been on the lookout for it. I can't explain more than it's a 3D platformer and it's armies of mushroom bipedal dudes. Okay? Alright. And then I think what I was most excited about when I found here first, what's this? Another Wii game, EA Playground. Look, any game where you can play a playground. Come on. These are what I was most excited about. I can't get enough of demo discs. I just can't. These are from the official Xbox magazine, I think. 5 playable demos and about each of these. I mean, you got stuff like Deus Ex, Jedi Academy, Destroy All Monsters. What's this on the back? Why are they getting an ad for Sagas on this? This one actually tells me what's going on. This one is like, figure it out for yourself. 17 playable demos on this. Wow. That's a lot. Here we go. They're on the inside. Okay, maybe not 17. 17 all new playable demos. I guess so. But this on here it says 5 playable demos. What are you trying to pull here, Xbox? Who knows? Oh wait, I think it says around the disc. Let's see. Yeah, Dead to Rights 2. Does anyone care? Flat Out. Flat Out's a good racing game. You know, Revenge of the Sith. Stubbs the Zombie. Yeah, we don't have that. That's a pretty hard to come by game. Yeah, there's a demo. Far Cry Instincts demo here. I love these. I could go on and on about these. What's this? Oh, okay. This one is Crimson Sky down there. It's got the Dungeons and Dragons Heroes game. That's a pretty cool RPG. Hits Pro. Okay. 5 Halo 2 downloads. We got to get on that. I mean, the packaging on these are so exciting. Time Shift. Yep, there it is on the back. Demo on the front, playable advertisement on the back. This is the first one I picked up, and this was the one that really kind of grabbed me. It says, put your quarters up. It's the Xbox Live Arcade, and it looks like we have Contra on there, Miss Pac-Man, Assault Heroes, never heard of that one. So just some Xbox Live games. I don't know if they're full. I assume these are just demos. But it says Xbox Live not required. And I just think it's cool to see Contra on the disc. So, say what you will. A lot of content on these and they look cool. Kind of harken back to that OG Xbox era. For $25 each, we weren't going to leave them behind. $1, we would have left them behind, absolutely. But for $25, we're in. That's it. How many was that? Let's see. 4, 8, 250, 275. Oh boy. 275, $5, $3. Maybe $4. $4 for all that? We got $3 here. 425, 450. Yeah, somewhere around $5. Again, $25 each. Couple of $5 PS4 games and then the controller. I don't know what to tell you. I'm doing the best I can out there for you guys. Or at least you're going to have to believe that. You have no choice. Anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to some quality entertainment with the Tiny Toons. I'm going to pick my favorite guy this time. Pick Furball the cat. And wouldn't you know it, in this adventure with the Tiny Toons, we're on the hunt for a pirate captain. You ready to try and take a pirate down? Let's see if we can do it. It's Tiny Toon Adventures for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Alright, here we go. A little music here for you. Back to the game. Alright, here we go. Yeah, you got a cat. I mean, I'm all about the cat here. Alright, here we go. Furball. Furball the cat. Again, okay, we got to go find Furball first. These crabs, kind of a nightmare for me. They're just very, I don't know, something about them. They always get the drop on me. Get out of there. Just, I'm gonna try and avoid them as much as possible. Your first instinct is to jump on them, but then they throw their shell at you. It's an issue. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, now we're Furball the cat, and this is kind of like the Tiny Toon Sylvester, which is weird because Sylvester never shut up. Furball, on the other hand, I don't think he ever says anything, which, you know, is convenient if you're trying to make a Nintendo game. Okay. Keep going. I think the most interesting mechanic about this game is the fact that you can pick a sidekick. The levels themselves are pretty varied, and I just blew it there. Is this Buster? Oh, good. It's another heart. Okay. The levels, you know, yeah, geographically speaking, there's pretty much everything under the sun, and they really mix it up. So, each of the sidekicks definitely has advantages to them. Furball, you know, he's a cat, so obviously, what does he do badly? He's not a very good swimmer, so of course, what did we brilliantly do? We decided to use him for the underwater level. Nicely done. Everybody take a nap. You're gonna need it, because getting this Yahoo through the water is kind of a chore. But we have a little defense on our team. We can actually do a little whirlpool attack if we need it. I think we're good for now. We can take one hit, which is nice. Definitely takes some getting. Oh! I tried to do a little attack and I blew it. Alright, here we go. There's more fish coming. Okay, we cleared the way. Going along here. You really kind of got to be patient with this game. It's a deceptive game when you first start playing it, because it's like, okay, it's a cartoon game based, you know, with heavy oh, get out of here. Heavily inspired by Mario 3. And when it comes, you know, so you think cartoon game, it's probably going to be a cakewalk. And then it's Super Mario Brothers 3, so it's got to be solid. And it is solid. But in Mario 3, you know what you want to do. You want to tear into the level. You want to go full speed ahead. And that can really screw you in this one. So you really got to kind of take your time, learn the levels. And the nice thing about it is it's really never a chore. Everything in this game is very well crafted. It's made toward the end of the NES's life. I'm not sure if the SNES was out yet, but it wouldn't shock me. Oh, why did I go in here again? Okay, let's go. Yeah, this is painful. Okay, come on. Alright, go quickly. I'm so thrown by that guy, I don't even know what to say. Alright, here we go, we're out of here. So yeah, and another nice thing about this game, not too terribly expensive. I think, you know, you could easily get this for $20 if you're a normal person. You know, if you're an extremely cheap pirate, $2 on the right day. No, but I mean, you know, you're really not going to have to spend much to get this guy. And it's worth it. And it's even got some secrets. in it. Beyond just the actual levels, there's actually something akin to, remember where there was that secret character in Mortal Kombat named Reptile, the green ninja, who if you met some sort of requirement, he'd show up out of nowhere. They have an element of that in this game. You can actually be on the map where we saw Acme Looniversity lately, or earlier, switch levels, and close your ears if you don't want to hear a spoiler. But here's the pirate ship, by the way. A spaceship shows up that looks an awful lot like a Star Destroyer in Star Wars. It beams you up off the map, and then you find yourself facing a couple of stormtroopers and a Darth Vader of sorts that looks eerily like a certain duck that happens to be on the Tiny Toon Adventures cast. So kind of neat. I don't know if there's any other elements like that, but that's a nice kind of secret edition that comes to the game. Now we're getting close. I can almost smell the rum coming off this pirate here. We just got to take it slow, take it easy. We've been through this pirate ship a couple times, so I think we'll be all right. We've still got a hit on us, so we can still make a mistake. But these corridors were, you know how under deck of a ship goes. It's close quarters, and this is no exception. I don't know why nobody, decided to blunt down these spikes, but maybe it's security measures for invading cats. Oh yeah, look at that. And obviously it's in a bit of a disrepair, which can be good for them, but not us, so we gotta be careful. Looking good. Okay. Alright. Oh, by the way, Furball here, the duck can fly. Furball, on the other hand, the cat, he can obviously stick to walls. I'm a big fan of that. The sidekick part of it, it really adds to, it gives the game, it almost lets you customize how you want to play. Playing with Furball, it's almost like playing kind of like Ninja Gaiden. Plucky, it's a little bit more like Super Mario Bros. 3. It's almost like Plucky's got a raccoon suit. So, pretty neat. Alright, here we go. So, here, Pirate Captain. He's got a hook and a dagger. That seems almost redundant to me. But, whatever. Oh. Okay. Throwing us some rum. Okay. Good. Very good. Very good. No, I will not give you my Xbox demo disc. Alright, we got him. Woo, boy. Oh, okay. I think we're supposed to get a key there. I wonder if it just stays there. Look at things got awkward. Okay, sorry. Even the timer stopped. I like that everything stops there. He's just like, are we going to continue or what? Alright, so that's Tiny Toon Adventures. Our friends out at Acme Looniversity. Highly recommended. To be fair, I have yet to beat it myself. I have managed to make it to the final level, but it's heavily guarded. And I'm trying my best to figure out how to get through it. But it's only a matter of time, right? It's only a matter of time. All right. As you know, just like in the days of old, the days of Bozo the Clown, the days of Mystery Science Theater 3000, even all the way back to the days of Howdy Doody and the dawn of video broadcasting, we try to keep a time-honored tradition here in this world of e-communications by reading a letter from you folks out there. Generally, it's just a question about life, maybe about gaming, maybe a little advice, maybe a little criticism. But what's important is it's something from you guys out there. And for me, it's an adventure every time to see what you guys have to say. And isn't that why we're here? An adventure. Let's head back to the bag that tells no tales. Stick our hand in and hope, beyond hope, that there's a letter in here. Let's see, we have a question from one of our favorite shipmates out there. His name is Bose. And he asked a very poignant question, and on par with what we're doing today. What is the silliest thing you've done during a voyage? You know, I don't always look at the questions. Sometimes I go in blind, but I did look at this one. Because honestly, I didn't know what to say. I think I look back at all the voyages we've done over the past 4 years, coming up on 5. All the exotic places we've been to, all the crazy adventures we've had, and I feel like I haven't been silly. Isn't that amazing? We've done over close to 200 voyages, maybe even beyond. And I can't think of a time that I would classify myself as actually being silly. I feel like I've been informative. I feel like I've been conniving, clever, maybe even a little amusing, but silly. Can't even think of it. Can I do something silly now? Can you think of anything? God, what would be something ridiculously silly to do? Okay, here we go. Let's see if I remember how to do this. I'm the good ship. Lollipop, it's a sweet trip to the candy shop where bonbons play. I botched it. Damn it. I'll keep trying. Okay, folks, I guess we gotta leave Acme Looniversity. Bose, thank you for the question. I'll keep working on this whole silly thing. Maybe I can get it down. There's always room for growth in this world, right? If you have a question, please feel free to send it. A comment. Maybe the rest of the lyrics to Good Ship Lollipop. I could use them. GamingGalleon@gmail.com. The Discord. Message us on Twitter. Like we ever use Twitter. Twitch. Whatever. And we'll get it on the air for you. And you can try and take over for even a moment. But it is time to go. For now. And I hope each and every one of you finds a little silliness in your heart out there. There's always room for it, even if you're not very good at it. Guess we'll see. But until next time, wherever that's going to be, I'm going to wish you the best. I'm not sure where we're going to go next time. I'm not sure where, and I'm not sure when. But I know one thing for sure. Wherever we end up, we're going to go there together. So until next time, my friends, farewell and adieu to ye fair Spanish maidens. Farewell and adieu, ye ladies of Spain, for we received orders for to get a little loony. and lo, nevermore shall we see ye all gone. That's all, folks. Keep your powder dry.